Okay, we're not going to make the most amazing beat. This is just mainly to demonstrate. So today we are making a Hyperpop drum kit from scratch, everybody. Yay!
Why are you laughing at my hype? Was that not hype enough for you?
It was adorable. So the trick to making drums, though, is secretly it's all just sine waves that you pitch up and down really fast and then distort.
That makes zero sense to me. That's what you're here for.
And another thing that we can do to help the fundamental is get like a one shot of maybe like a flute or like somebody banging metal and then layer it on the snare. Yes, sir. And now we just continue to distort these together to add harmonics until you get a nice cute little sounding thing. I think maybe this is still a little bit too long. And what I like to do whenever I'm doing any kind of sound design, it's always best that once you get to a solid step, before you go any further, we're going to highlight it, hold Control and click to highlight it, and then Control Alt C to consolidate that, turn it into a sample. And now we have something that we can work with a little bit easier. Another really good way to add color to samples you're working on is to run them through like a guitar distortion. Camel Crusher is a really good free one. Now I can hear in this the fundamental's a little bit strong, and that can be nice depending on what kind of a vibe you're going for. In Hyperpop, a lot of the snares have super strong fundamentals, so I'm going to emphasize it even more. And then I'm going to run it through some more distortion. Going to consolidate this one more time. Now I'm probably going to pitch it up, change up the pitch a bunch of times, see what sounds good. Now I'm going to use some kicks that I've already made just to see how this sounds in a drum beat, because if it sounds good in a drum beat, we probably don't have to do much more to it. Some of these kicks might actually work for Hyperpop too. I might edit these a bit more. I feel like the snare could use a bit more, so we're gonna layer it with something. FL Studio has lots of free samples like Foley and stuff like that. We could probably layer something like that with it and make it sound a little bit nicer. Like this coin shaking sounds really cool. If we tighten this up and add it to the snare, that could sound really nice. Yeah, that sounds actually really nice. Yeah, that's a very nice Hyperpop vibe. Got that really exaggerated fundamental, some nice ringy high end. So next I'm gonna make one more snare, just so we have like another little tight off rim hit type thing. So I'm looking for something like this offbeat. I think our issue is not enough of a transient, so we're going to go in and manually automate the volume and give it more of a transient. Another thing I'm going to do is change the semitones, but I'm going to make this not play any note, so we don't have to worry about it being in key when we wave it out and use it something else. It's just going to be percussive sound. We don't need any kind of notation. Usually when you're making drums, you don't want them to actually be playing a pitch. Otherwise it's going to make tuning it a whole big problem. You should never have to tune the drum, if that makes sense. You know, this might work for something. It's a nice little perk. And you know, this is a good lesson. Sometimes it doesn't always work. Sometimes you get in the lab, you're experimenting, you know it doesn't always work, but it's part of the fun. So this, I would say we failed. This ain't a very good snare. We could use it as a perk, though, if I take this off. It feels so close to being something, though. I feel like maybe if we layered it in with the other snare we already made. I'm gonna go back in with the automation, because I think it's that tail. If we can get rid of this tail, we might have a nice little clicky thing. Okay, perfect. Now, what we can do, put this back in here, we're gonna add a tiny little bit of a reverb, just to give it a tiny bit of tail off of what we just made, but very tiny, like as small as we can make the reverb. There we go. This is a cute little... We can use this as a snare, for sure. Why do I keep doing that? We can even layer on one of these old versions of it with it. You might want to make that a little bigger. Why do I keep doing that? Oh, stretch it. I didn't even think about stretching it. That kind of works as a snare as well, so we might as well make this a sample, because I actually like that a lot. We're going to take a look at all the snares we made so far, plus one that I made while I wasn't recording. kicks are basically the exact same thing we just did with the snares, but they're going to be much lower pitch because they're bass drums. So I'm adding in a harmonic here to create a little bit of phase canceling. Because since this is moving in pitch and this one isn't, when they get close to each other, it creates a... You can kind of hear it's almost like a second hit, like... Let's export it again. Sorry, consolidate it rather. Trim it up just a tiny bit more. Oh, now we got a mean punchy kick. Right here, look at that. But let's say we do also want a bit of a longer kick, because some people do like that, but we do have that, so we're going to trim the sample length to try to get rid of that click at the end. Perfect. We'll put it through the same EQ and distortion we just did, except maybe we'll buff some of the... somewhere in the frequency spectrum to give it a little bit of a thonk. Okay, so since I didn't want this to take too long, I'm going to be using some drums that I've made off stream while I'm not recording. I'm going to make a little demo beat out of... Oh, no, there's one thing I forgot. There's one more thing I need to do. Hi-hat. We need to make at least a hi-hat. So now we're going to make a hi-hat. Hi-hat's going to be the same as the kick and snare, but high pitch. And this time we can use something with a bit more harmonic content, or we could just go straight up for white noise or some kind of noise. I'm going to use an oscillator because I like the kind of tinniness it can give it. I don't know how to describe it. But we're going to make the waveform way shorter than the rest of everything, so it's barely even there. That's a hi-hat. That's literally it. It's a hi-hat for you. This we're going to want to process a little bit too. Going to run it through some more of that distortion. You can see we have a very strong harmonic here. A resonant frequency. If you have something like Soothe, you can use Soothe to clean that up, but I don't. So we're going to use free EQ. I'm just going to hone in on that, bring that down, so it doesn't overpower our sound. There you go, there we have a hi-hat. It's so much more simple than it looks. Okay, now that we made some drums, I'm going to show you a little demo of how they might sound in a beat. If you want any of these samples, make sure to click into the description and join the Discord. I have an area in there called Free Stuff. I post free beats, free samples, all the fun stuff.
I can confirm. I use it all the time. 5-star reviews.
Hell yeah, you heard it here.
You heard it here first.
Okay, we're not going to make the most amazing beat. This is just mainly to demonstrate. That sounds way better high pitch. I'm actually going to consolidate that one time. I made this Hyperpop 808 from scratch, and if you want to know how to make your own Hyperpop 808, you should like and comment and let me know, and maybe I'll get around to doing that. Yeah, thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. I really appreciate you. Just a reminder, if you go down below, click that link, join the Discord, you'll be able to get this drum kit for free. There's a lot more sounds in it that I didn't show in this video. I got some cool basses and stuff in there, some really crazy patcher stuff. I want to look into patcher more. If you want to see some videos about patcher, tell me. Whatever you want. Just tell me. Tell me down in the comments. If you comment it, I have to do it. That's the new rule.
Oh, you be careful. I'll be commenting. I'm half asleep right now. You can't be giving me that kind of power, my dude.
I will do anything for the... I'll do anything for the viewers, man.
Are we bringing back Do It For The Vine?
Hell yeah.
The viewers.
Right. Peace.